Hey guys, welcome back to Code with Swarnali. So today we will talk about another important question which you have been come across like while your interviews. If you have a gap, like why you have this gap. So in your full professional life, if you have any kind of gap like 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, so you will face this question from the interviewer that why you have this gap. And today in this video we will discuss why and how you can explain them and may be convinced by your answer. So today we will discuss everything end to end, like what type of gap you should from yourself, or what type of gap you should wait for the interviewer to ask. So everything end to end we will discuss in this video. So see this video till the end and let's start our video. So first we will discuss how many type of gaps are there, like how which gaps we should address and which gap we should wait for the interviewer to ask. So first is the gap which is called a very common gap we have, that is less than 6 month gap, which every freshie will have, like when they end their college life and start their new job. Many people take this time to search for jobs, like what type of jobs they want. So this is very common gap. They can explain it very easily and you don't have to personally explain it. If the interviewer asks, which most of the cases they don't, but if they ask, you can just explain it that I was finding a job, I was finding a suitable job which goes with my profile. So explaining this is very easy, and with at the end also I will give you example how we can explain it. Okay. Second is the 6 month to 2 year gap, which is we can take it as a short gap. Again, you don't have to explain this gap when you are tell me about yourself. In that, wait for the interviewer to ask it. Want you to explain the gap, then explain it in a proper way. And if there you are explaining some medical issues or something, better to have a proof. Okay, so like when you have the background checks and everything, so there will be no issues. Next we will go to 2 to 5 year of gap. This is a long gap and it's better you address this while you are telling about yourself. At the end you address this like I have this gap, and again for this have a proper proof. If you're telling any reason, have a proper proof for that, so while you have the BGV you don't have any issue regarding this. Okay, and lastly we have a gap which is more than 5 years. Yeah, this is very important. This is a significant gap in your professional career and it's better to address in a very positive way. So in tell me about yourself, if you're addressing it, keep it proper, short, and whatever you say you should have a proof. Okay, and you should be positive, you should be enthusiastic to work again, restart your work. Okay, so this is very important. Be positive, whatever happens, whatever gap you have, always be positive while explaining the gap. Okay, third point is, while discussing your gap, always keep these points in your mind, is that always be up to date and relevant to the position you're applied. If you're applying for a position, the software which is needed for that position, the programming language for example, or any other thing, stay up to date with that. Have a look at the about section of the company and accordingly make your interview questions ready. Okay, and second point is personal growth. So when you are explaining like 6 to 1 year gap or 2 year gap, always tell that during this gap I had this personal growth, I completed few certifications, I did some course, and I went through some YouTube videos where I learned this, or show that you had a personal growth throughout your gap. Okay, point is, always show enthuse and confidence of returning to work. Always your every word should have that confidence that I'm returning to work, I have all the experience I need and I fit for this job. Okay, your gap should be not your weakness, it should be your strong point. Okay, last is upscale yourself. So whatever gap you have, always try to upscale yourself during your gap. Even if you couldn't upscale yourself during your gap, try upscaling before the interview. At least add some certificates, which I already explained you in the first point. Add some certificates which is relevant to your positions, to your job. Okay. Lastly, we will discuss the reasons you can give to explain your gap. First reason is caring for family, parents, critical situation. For that also you can keep some proof, medical certificate of your parents or whomever is the family member, which will help you in background verification and a smooth process. Okay. Second is, if you are ill, being unwell, that also you can explain. Here also keep proper proof, medical certificates. Okay. Thirdly is future studies or any post graduation you are doing. In this case, normally you don't like get questions from the interviewer regarding like why you took a gap. But if you're doing online post graduation degree, for example online MBA if you're doing, so there you can get questions like if you're doing it online you can just continue your job. So you can mix two reason here, like you can say I was doing my online MBA, but with that also I have to took care of my parents, they were old. You can just mix two reason and explain your thing. Okay. So here if you're going for normal offline courses, I don't think you will get any question in this scenario. Okay. And the fourth point, which is especially for women's motherhood, you can explain. You're going through your pregnancy time, you can of course tell about that. And for male candidate, you can go for like parental for some issues in your wife's pregnancy, you took leave, you took gap, you have to take care of your wife, of course you can go for that. But I will tell that if you're going for more than 1 year of gap, not to take this as a consideration, because this will not be accepted. But less than 1 year, of course you can tell like in your wife's pregnancy you were there because of some critical issues. Okay. Okay, lastly, let's see some examples how we can explain the gap. I'll give you 2-3 examples and you can take that as consideration while explaining your gap also.